Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us tonight.
I'm going to make it educated.
Lisa Knight, I saw you there somewhere. I've just made you a co-host.
No worries.
Thank you. Can you keep an eye on the chat and the waiting room and stuff for me, please?
Yep.
Thanks, hon. Just trying to see if I can turn off the waiting room. All right. How is everyone tonight? Good. Some thumbs up. Who's had dinner? Who's still cooking dinner? What have you cooked? Anyone had something they want to tell us about? Anyone cooked something new from Cookidoo tonight?
No.
Anyone? Chunky bolognese, Therese, that's always a good one. Steve, you've made your Christmas cakes. Amazing. It is getting to that time of year, isn't it? I think we've got 6 weeks left until Christmas. It's a bit scary, isn't it? Who's started preparing their Christmas menus? Anyone? We've the next edition of this online virtual class is actually our Christmas silly season bring a plate edition, so that'll be a good one for you to jump on. But we've also got lots of festive fix face-to-face cooking classes coming up over the next few weeks as well, which will be great for you to get along to. We did our first one in Milton last weekend. We've got one in Piree on the 30th of November. We've got one in Corrimal on the 8th of December. There's one in Mossvale on the 23rd of November. And there's one in Canberra as well. And I can't quite remember the date, but I might get Lisa to throw the...
So in the world, if you was to have a broken tooth, it could...
All right, if you're not on mute, guys, just pop on mute so we don't have the background noise. Yeah, Lisa, you might be able to find some links that you can share for us for link trees to share those face-to-face cooking classes. But I think let's get into it. So thanks for all being here. My name is Megan and I'm the Senior Team Leader for the Coastal Gems branch. And we're here with some Pinnacle consultants tonight as well. And they're from the sort of Canberra, Southwest Sydney branch. And tonight we're talking all things barbecue. So quite often when we're at demos, people say to us, oh, we're meat and 3 veg kind of people. We wouldn't use a Thermomix. Well, we're here tonight to show you how the Thermomix enhances the barbecue and the meat and 3 veg dishes and really takes that to the next level. So we're going to jump over first to Kirsty Hayes. And she is going to take us through some chicken wings. Let me just find you, Kirsty, so I can spotlight you. There you go.
Everyone see me all right? Yay, good to go. Beautiful. I love these. I've made them so many times. It's not funny. I have clients that love them as well. You don't need a barbecue for this one. You can put them on the barbecue. You can stick them in the air fryer if you like. It's a really, really nice... You're basically making the barbecue sauce first and then you cook them in the sauce. I have seen people before stick them on skewers and then put them on the barbecue like that, but I love them in the oven. They still taste like barbecue wings because obviously it's a barbecue sauce. So I have saved it in my week to make life a little bit easier. I've saved it tomorrow. All right, so this is what it looks like. I hope you can see that all right. Okay, we hit start cooking. The oven's been preheated. Line the bottom and sides of a baking tray or casserole dish with foil. I've just used my normal pan. Move that down. All right. So 1 brown onion, 120 grams or whatever. Nobody's ever weighed an onion. They're never all exactly the same. All right. 1 garlic clove. So obviously we're going to put in 5. Insert the measuring cup. So we're going to chop these up really quickly. 3 seconds. Turn speed selector to speed 7. Right. I know there's no way I could ever chop mine that quick. All right. So 3 seconds. We've chopped our onion and garlic. We're just going to scrape that down really quickly. Someone's got a bit of a cough. Oh, that just got popped an eyeful of that. Oh my gosh. All right, 250 grams of tomato sauce, gluten-free or whatever you've got. This is probably a little bit less because we used some of it earlier. I don't think I've got enough, but hey, enough's good enough. All right, so 50 grams of apple cider vinegar. Just a quick tip. And again, it doesn't matter if it's over or under, it's just a little bit of flavour. 50 grams of honey. And this one, I got this from Mudgee. It came all the way from Mudgee. Mudgee honey, I tell you, it's the best. They have the beautiful tasting places out there. And let me tell you, I probably don't have enough. Yeah, no, I'm going to be a bit short. I've got backup. Don't look, it's home brand stuff. Obviously, because I used a little bit less of the tomato, I've used a little bit less of everything else, except the brown sugar. I've got 100 grams of brown sugar. I pre-weighed that, so. Okay, 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. Now, I don't know if you guys are anything like me. You got to tip with love. So 2 tablespoons. That's probably 1, 2. Next, 60 grams of water. I find this really handy. I keep my little jug, my iron in the kitchen because it measures small amounts. It's easy. Okay, so it's just 60 grams. Or a little less. Half a teaspoon of paprika. So you can, I've found you can use smoky, you can use the normal one, whatever paprika you pick up, it's always going to taste nice. Insert measuring cup into mixing bowl. We hit next. Turn speed selector to speed 2. So that's just going to give it a good quick mix. And then again, scrape down the sides of mixing bowl with the spatula. So that's going to be our barbecue sauce. So we do have to cook that. Quick scrape down. Place simmering basket instead of measuring cup onto the mixing bowl lid. Okay. I'm a little bit lazy because it's on the other side of the room. Hit next. So that's now going to cook for 20 minutes. But hey, here's some I prepared earlier. So I did do a little batch. So once you've cooked it for 20 minutes, you do blend it for 30 seconds and you end up with this amazing, I know, can anybody smell that? Because I can. It smells divine. This is like a really nice barbecue sauce. So this, I'm now just going to hit this. I'm going to hit next. Insert measuring cup. We're going to blend it for 30 seconds. Place chicken winglets onto prepared tray or dish and pour barbecue sauce over the chicken. So I've used like big wings. And I'm just, again, lazy. Look at that. Beautiful barbecue sauce. I reckon you could bottle that and it'd be just as nice used as a normal barbecue sauce. Okay. Make sure it's all nice and coated. So with this recipe though, you do have to stir it a few times while it's in the oven. So you don't have to be too pedantic. Don't have the neat. You can, but it's going to be messed up first time you stir it. Can you use something other than the brown sugar? You could probably use raw sugar. You could use coconut sugar if you wanted to. I don't know if you could leave it out because it does need that sweetness in there. Sorry, that I just saw that one pop up on the screen. So if anybody else asked any other questions, I'm sorry if I missed them. Okay, so now we pop it in the oven for 45 minutes at 190 degrees, turning the winglets every 15 minutes during the roasting until winglets are cooked through. So literally 3 times in each 15 minutes. And then, yeah, after that, it does say serve it up with shallots, but yeah, if I throw them on the top, the kids won't eat them. It's one of those
Might
things.
be a good way to keep them for yourself, Kirst.
Oh, well, I've got another kilo now that I've got because I've made an extra batch of the sauce. I'm going to do an extra kilo. The kids have got lunch on the lawn at school tomorrow. So I'm just going to take a kilo of them and the kids can stuff their faces with them at lunchtime tomorrow. Yay. All right. So, yeah, I'll be back later. you know how to stir stuff, let the oven stir it. But we should be back in time to see. Can you put rice underneath? You probably could. Cooking it for 45 minutes, though, it may overcook the rice. You might have to add a little bit of extra liquid in there. Otherwise, it's going to probably soak up way too much. So, like the hully chicken, add a little bit of pineapple juice if you like, if you want to put some rice underneath it. But, yeah, I don't see why you couldn't. It'd be lovely. Right, I'm just going to pop this in the oven.
All right. Thank you, Kirsty.
No worries.
We are jumping over to me now. Let me just change our spotlight. All right, so I am going to take you through making one of our favorites, which are the brioche hamburger buns. Who loves hamburgers in their house? We definitely do, and the brioche burger buns are amazing. So what I've done is made a dough. Just going to move things about. So basically a brioche dough is like an enriched dough. So it's more than just your usual dough. It's got butter in it, it's got milk in it, it's got egg in it. So it's a really soft, silky, beautiful, like rich dough. But other than adding those extra ingredients into the bowl, when the Cookidoo recipe tells you to, there's really not much difference. It does knead for 10 minutes, which is a lot longer than a lot of the other breads and pizza doughs and rolls and things that we make on Cookidoo. But because it then needs to rise for an hour, I wanted you to really see the folding of the bread rather than the kneading. So here's one I prepared earlier. You can see I've got it wrapped up in my silicone bread mat. I did forget to grab my dough scraper, so just give me a second. Right, so it has risen beautifully. You want it to sort of double in size. So it's set about an hour. And that ensures that we've got nice, soft, fluffy rolls. Now, the recipe calls for making 10 rolls. I've actually found that we like to make it into about 8 rolls, and I'll show you why. Here's my finished batch. We like them to be a little bit flattened out so that we can actually put a whole burger on there and be a reasonable size. If you made them into 10, you're kind of looking more at slider size, which is great if that's what you want. But I like to flatten them out. So I'm going to show you. I might do this one into 10 and just show you the difference. And so it's just a matter of working really gently with your dough. You don't want to knock all of that air out of it that you've put in there. So if I'm going to cut each of those into 5, you could weigh them. They'd be about 80 grams each. That's a little bit too precise for me. So when they look about right, what you want to do is sort of roll it into a bit of a ball by tucking it around and creating a bit of surface tension on the top. And that ensures that we get a nice smooth top and some nice fluffy on the inside. So you can just kind of stretch it and pull it. When you've got it nice and round, that would fluff up into a beautiful little slider. When I'm doing them as burgers though, I just very gently squash them out a bit flatter. So they're a little bit wider. And then when you fill them up with all those amazing toppings, you can still get your mouth around it. I can't see the dough scraper. Yes, dough scraper is amazing. You'll definitely want that. Any tools to make the dough perfectly round? Your hands. Your hands are the perfect tools to make these perfectly round. And it does take a little bit of practice, but essentially all you're trying to do is kind of pull the top around and underneath so that it gets nice and smooth. All right. And then depending on whether you want to kind of leave them to kind of puff up or just squish them down a little bit. So I'll continue doing those. They'll go onto another tray and then they need to rise for another 20 minutes. And then we put some egg yolk glaze on them and then they go into the oven 10 minutes on 200 with a little bowl of water in there so that the steam can help them to rise. And then for the second 10 minutes, we take that bowl of steam out or bowl of water out and just leave them. Can we make them into hot dog buns? Yes, we absolutely can. So for a hot dog bun, you want to stretch it out. And again, you still want to create that sort of tautness on top. And tuck the ends under. Mine might be like cocktail hot dogs. But you can certainly turn them into any shape that you like. And yes, Carmen, we do have Christmas classes coming to Canberra and we will add those links into the chat for you as well. I'll also send out a follow-up email after this class and we'll put those links in the class. So if you don't grab them now, I'll be sure to add them into that email. All right, so while I finish rolling these, let's jump over to Anna. And let me just spotlight you, Anna. There you go.
Hi guys. So I'm Anna Kelly. I'm a Thermomix consultant in Australia, but I currently live in Singapore. And I'm running my business virtually. I can see a few friendly faces / names in this chat. Hi guys. So I'm going to be making for you today the citrus margarita. Because we all like a nice fancy drink at barbecues and a chipotle salad. So I'm going to be starting with the citrus margarita, which is my absolute favorite cocktail. Here we go. I've got it in my week. So this is like a frozen margarita rather than, so it's got ice and it's slushy style rather than your squeezed form. And the first step is to do the salt part. I actually don't do this because I prefer it without the salt, but essentially you line a bowl with a little bit of water and dip that in, and then you've got a salt bowl as well, and you do the same, and then you end up with the salt on the top. I've only done a little bit because I prefer it without the salt. And then it tells you to do it for all 6 glasses. And now we go to adding 140 grams of tequila. The other alcohol that's used is an orange liqueur. So Cointreau, I have Grand Marnier here. And that's 60 grams. And then, I've used, I pre-prepared for this class a little bit earlier, so you'll notice that I've got all of my stuff in these little vacuum seals, which you can get at the mix shop. Really good for if you're preparing something in advance and then want to keep it fresh. So here I've got a lemon, an orange and a lime. All I've done is just slice off the skin, tried to get rid of the pith as well. And it's asking for 60 grams of lemon. I find that 1 lemon, 1 orange and 1 lime is enough, even if the numbers are slightly above or below. So then 1 lime and 1 orange, hence the name citrus margarita. And then it says 30 to 60 grams of simple syrup, which I never have that around, but I do have honey. And I noticed Kirsty when she was doing her thing and she had Worcestershire sauce and she was doing that. That's exactly what I do. But I did want to point out that this little measuring part inside the lid is 1 tablespoon. So if you're ever doing sauces, I wouldn't do it with honey because it would just get really sticky and annoying in there. But things like if you're measuring a tablespoon of water, this is a really good one to use, and then tip it in. So I'm just going to do a little dash here because there you go. Now this recipe, and you probably noticed it in other ones, there's no weighing scales when I'm at this step. So if I did want to weigh it, I would have to go out of the recipe, swipe across to do that. And hang on, is that honey all over my hand? Yes, every so often you do need to do that, and then you can go back and find the bookmark that's been set in there. Okay, so now I'm inserting the measuring cup and I'm blending it for 15 seconds. Okay, and then we've got like a bit of a slushy mix here. I probably can't see. There we go. And I'm adding 500 grams of iron. So this is going to blend for a minute. You won't be able to hear me just while this is happening. So if the other consultants wants to jump on and chat while this is happening.
I would love to just jump back in and just show you, for those of you that haven't seen, our sensor. So our wireless Bluetooth food probe called the sensor, which connects and talks to your Thermomix and reads the internal temperature of food. So this is a really handy tool to have, especially when you're doing barbecues, because it can be used in your oven, in the Varoma, in your barbecue, on the grill, all sorts of things. And you can use it in your meat, you can use it in your bread, you can use it in your cakes. So who makes cakes and is constantly kind of opening the oven, sticking something in, checking if it's cooked yet, looking at your bread, tapping it on the bottom, wondering if it's sounding hollow? This little doobie eliminates the need for all of that because you set what you're cooking. So I set that I was making an enriched dough, which said the internal temperature needed to be at 92. And so the sensor then told me when I got close to 92 and when I reached 92, so that I could pull my bread out without having to guess or check or do anything else. So a super handy tool to have. If you like your steaks medium well, and someone in your house always overcooks them, this could be a marriage saver because they'll stick it in and it'll tell them when to take it off the oven. So that's called the sensor, and you will find that in the mix shop, and definitely a life-changing tool. How are you going, Anna?
Yeah, good. So
Come
that's
back to you.
done. And you will have noticed how easy that is. You can really impress people with your Thermomix by making cocktails because it really doesn't take any skill. It's just kind of like making a smoothie. And so I'll just pour this in here. There's my fancy citrus margarita, which I look forward to having a drink later after the class. I better put it in the freezer though. It will melt really fast in Singapore. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to be doing is making this salad. Someone mentioned, can I use something other than tequila? I mean, I feel like it's one of the main flavors in a margarita, but you could probably use vodka. I've never tried it. Yeah. Or maybe a different cocktail. The daiquiris are good, pina coladas, espresso martinis. Oh, if you, check them all out. There's so many. Okay, so this bean and corn salad, the first step is actually to go out to your barbecue and grill some corn and some red onion, and then chop off the corn and hopefully keep it in big chunks. Mine have really separated. It's just the way it happened, but it'll still taste good. And here's my red onion. So I've already done that step. So I'm just going to skip through those first ones. Okay, so I'm up to the part where it's asking me to, again, I've got my vacuum seal here, keeping all this stuff fresh. It'll let the air back out. Okay. So 1 red capsicum, 4 sprigs of fresh coriander. Unfortunately, I tried 3 different shops and they were all out of coriander. But I did make myself some chimichurri the other day. So what I'm going to do is at the end pour some of this over the top. And chimichurri is, I pretty much make it every second week. It's one of my favorite condiments to have in the Thermomix. And yeah, it's full of coriander, so that'll go nicely. Add the reserved charred onion. And then I'm inserting my measuring cup into the mixing bowl and chopping it on speed 5. So I'm just transferring that into a separate bowl for now. Lighting's not great. Sorry, let's see if I can. Actually, there's a bit of capsicum there that is still a massive chunk. If that ever happens, I just press it back and I'll repeat the step just for like an extra second. There we go. That's got it. Okay. But setting that aside, it's telling me to rinse mixing bowl. I'm not actually going to do that because I find these flavors are all going to work together anyway. So I'm placing this on top and I'm using the scales to weigh in 100 grams of tomatoes. Cherry tomatoes cut in halves. Probably should have used a bigger bowl here. This is really getting full. And yes, definitely need a bigger bowl. Here we go. I'll use this one so you can see what I'm doing. Adding a can of, you see that? Yeah. Kidney beans, rinsed and drained. And the avocado flesh cut into 1 centimetre. So I've just got an avocado and I've done the slicing here. And I'm just going to use the spoon to put that in. I love avocado. So instead of 1 avocado, I've actually done 1.5. Donna's still on. She'll get angry at me for tapping on that. Okay. And then I'm just going to gently, it says, toss gently to combine and then top with reserved corn. So all these flavors are getting mixed together. And then this corn is also going on. And as you can see, oh gosh, now we're really pushing this bowl. This is very much all those Mexican flavors. And this salad has that Mexican feel to it, which I'm a big fan of. All right, so the next step, we're to the Thermomix, we're making the dressing. If you do want to wash the bowl, absolutely do that. I'm just going to keep going ahead with it. So we have 40 grams of lime juice. 60 grams of grapeseed oil. So this is the dressing, and it's like a chipotle, which is, I guess, why you need to wash it, but I'm still happy with my decision. If you want to use olive oil or avocado oil because they're slightly healthier, I think that would still work fine. It just definitely has a stronger flavour that takes over a little bit, but I still think olive oil would go nicely with this. 1 clove of garlic. Oh gosh, I did have one somewhere. And it's gone. It's probably in here. I'll just get another one. One moment.
As long as it's not in the margarita. I was cooking dinner one night and my son was helping. He was making a cream cheese frosting and we were doing a stir fry, I think, at the same time. And yeah, the garlic ended up in the cream cheese frosting. And when the kids went to eat their cupcakes that night, they were all like, disgusting, what's wrong with the icing? And it took us a minute to realise that the garlic clove had ended up in the wrong bowl.
So that's 1 teaspoon of cumin, and then this is chipotle chilies in adobo sauce. You can get it from most supermarkets, and I have to say they're really, really flavourful. There's quite a few recipes that I've found that do it. One thing you can do if you've got some left over, say you've made some and you've got a jar left and you need to use it, just go into your Cookidoo search and type in chipotle chili with adobo sauce and it will bring up a list of recipes that you can use that condiment in. So searching by condiment is sometimes a good way to use it. Mango chutney is another one that I've done that for. Teaspoon of salt. I find this Himalayan salt you have to do a little bit less. I don't know, have you guys found that? And some pepper. Okay, now I insert measuring cup lid and blend that for 10 seconds on speed 5. Okay, so then this I've got in my big vacuum seal, I've got the lettuce, which I've chopped up finely earlier. To let some more air out. There we go. That's kept that really fresh. I actually did this morning. And then, so I top with the reserved corn salad. So I pour this all over the lettuce. And then I daub it with some sour cream. And in my case, I'm going to use this. So I'll do that now as we move on to the next person. We can come back to me a bit later and I'll show you what it looks like.
Awesome. Thanks, Hannah. All right, we're jumping over to Melissa. Oops, where are you, Melissa?
Hi there.
We've got you.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah. Hi there, I'm Melissa Liris. I'm a Sydney-based consultant. And I'm going to be demonstrating 2 things. So I'm going to be doing a rub. Excuse that little black box there. I just got nothing else to put my phone on. I'm going to be doing a rub, but I'm going to talk a little bit about some tips and tricks for doing rubs as well. And I'm also going to be doing a quick pickle. There's a lot of rub recipes, of course. It's a very basic thing. So we're just going to start. I've already measured out just the ingredients just to get a head start, because really what I want to focus on is how to use a rub. So this recipe puts half the ingredients for a pre-grind and half later on. And you'll notice that the ingredients it puts first are the chunkier ingredients. So there's whole coffee beans in this one. There's oregano, There's garlic granules. So they're a bit chunkier, and it's really important when you're making a rub to use the right texture of what it's asking for. So granules instead of garlic, ground garlic. And the reason for that is that you want the texture that the rub's trying to achieve as well. And it also depends on how much that flavor is going to be absorbed into the meat that you're seasoning. So the first couple of ingredients, we've got salt, we've got coffee beans, oregano, garlic granules, and some whole peppercorns. So I'm just going to skip ahead and put those all in. Now, there's some rubs at the moment that use things like activated charcoal, and of course chilies. If anybody's ever ground chilies in their Thermomix and put their face far too close, they'll know that that's a big mistake. So I'm going to show you a little trick just to overcome that. Does everybody know the paper towel trick? So don't all shout at once. The paper towel trick helps us to avoid any dust that comes out of our Thermomix. So it's a really good trick to use, for example, if you're doing icing sugar from whole sugar, or even grinding flour, anything that's going to create a dust. It's just grab a piece of paper towel and place it over the top before you put your lid and your measuring cup. So this is just 7 seconds just to grind those heavy textures. And then it's telling us to scrape down the bowl, which I think if everybody probably knows this if you're an old hat with the Thermomix. But when you are scraping down the bowl, it's really handy to go around the bowl like that. So in a clockwise motion. So anti-clockwise, of course, is the sharp edge of your blade, and that can cut your spatula. So just move your spatula in this motion around the bowl to scrape it down. Now we're just going to add the second half of the ingredients. So we've got brown sugar, onion powder, dried chili flakes, cayenne pepper, and some cinnamon. We're just going to add all those in. Get too far. So again, I'm going to put my paper just to avoid any dust coming up. And just 10 seconds again. And this one's only on speed 5, so it's really just mixing it. And that's because they were all the really fine grind spices, so they don't need to be ground again. Now, a couple of tricks when you use a rub. One is not to consider it as a crumb. So you want to go light with it. Consider it like salt and pepper rather than a crumb on the thing. So I'm just going to show you that with a piece of chicken. Yes, you could grind it all in one go, but your first, that was just a question that came up. So you could grind it all in one go, but your first step, second step ingredients, you're going to be getting them too fine. Your powder's going to be too fine. So that's why it's only, it's doing it in 2 steps. The second step was really just mixing. So I'm just going to tip forward the camera there so you can see what I'm doing. I have my beautiful vacuum seal containers, which are available on the Mix shop along with the vacuum sealing wand. I almost exclusively use those now for storing my meat, leftover meat in the fridge. What you want to do before you go, sorry, was that a question? No. Before you go putting any rub, because you don't want all that excess moisture on there. Sorry, I think I've lost everybody for a second there. Does everybody actually, add one more trick in here. Does everybody know you can use your lid as a funnel? So just to put my rub in the bowl there, just use my lid as a funnel. Just save clean up on my bench. And got to say that rub smells absolutely amazing. So just going to very, very gently, kind of like salt and pepper. So don't go too hard. And then the last trick I want to say is that you want to, sorry, I think I've lost you all again there. No, there you are. The last trick is you want to let that sit until all the seasoning becomes moist. That little bit of moisture means that the seasoning has now sunk into the food and then it's ready to go cooking it. Sorry, what was that?
I don't know if that was a question or someone might have just bumped their mute. Another great way to expedite that marinating too is to use our vacuum seal containers, because when you vacuum seal something and suck all the air out of it, you open up the fibers on the meat, and so the flavors when you're marinating and seasoning will sink into that meat much quicker. So you can cut down your marinating and seasoning time by using those vacuum seal containers.
And then that was actually a tip I was going to tell you all for the quick pickle as well. So we're going to make a quick pickle now, and same thing. So this pickle works because it's a very, very thin slice, but you can also put it into one of the vacuum seal containers and you'll get it even quicker. So we're going to use the cutter attachment. Has everybody seen the cutter attachment? Basically, it has a blade. It's double-sided. So one side is slicing, side one, and side two is grating. And both sides do thick and thin. So thick and thin slice or thick and thin grate. And it depends whether you're going in forward or reverse. So for this recipe, we're using the slicing one. So number one facing upwards. And it's as simple as it says to sterilize the jar. In this case, we're going to eat all this pickle in the one go, so I haven't sterilized, but you should pre-sterilize. It tells you really specifically, I don't know if you can see my screen there, but it goes really into detail on how to put the cutter in. So it takes the guesswork out. But one trick I learned is if you're doing something that's not on a mode, but you're just using the cutter, do a test piece first to make sure you're getting the result that you want, thick or thin. So we're going to start slicing. And we're just putting the cucumber in. And I'll just give you a little bit of a preview there. So that's our cucumber in about what, 2 seconds? Really nice, consistent, thin slice. It's actually the thick slice, sorry.
No.
And now we're going to put the radish, so I've got 5 radish into the thick shoot. And they're going to be cut thin slice. And you can see that. So you can see that great result there on our radish. And finally, we're going to do the onion. And this is great because all I've had to do is cut the onion, peel and cut the onions in half. And they fit right in there. That's caught a little bit. There we go. I'll just do the last 2 onions there.
And Melissa, do you want to share about what else we have coming to use with that cutter attachment soon?
Yes, very exciting. So there's the spiralizer. If anybody's ever done a keto diet or any low carb diet, you'll know what a spiralizer does. It basically makes spaghetti out of vegetables. So zucchini noodles or zoodles is probably one of the most famous ones, but you can use pretty much anything. Carrots, pumpkin's really nice. And so that's the new attachment that's coming along for the slicer. And so that's our beautifully thin cut onion. So the next step, I'm going to pop that all into a jar, my clean sterilized jar. I should have got my onion goggles for this one because I'm going to start crying any second. So all in the jar. And now we're going to make our pickling liquid. So our pickling liquid, I really am going to start crying, sorry. Our pickling liquid is, in this case, just apple cider vinegar, caster sugar and water. That's going to take a couple of seconds to 3 minutes actually, sorry, to cook. So if you want to cut to the next person, you can come back to me on that one if you like, Megan.
Alrighty, well, what are we doing now? We're coming over to me, actually. Let me just... do that. All right, so what I wanted to show you next was how to cook the perfect steak. And to do that, we do use our Thermomix and we sous vide it. Has anyone had a go at sous vide steaks yet? No one? Yes, Alison, you've had a go. Was it good? Was it a success? Yes, awesome. I can't see many of you on the screen at once, so I'm kind of flicking through. All right, well, I'm going to show you how the sous vide works. I was going to take you outside and show you how to finish searing that steak. So it's what we call a reverse sear. So we cook it first as a sous vide and then we just sear it really quickly on a really hot pan or barbecue to get those beautiful grill lines and that crispiness on the outside. It has just started thunderstorming. There is thunder and lightning. I'm not sure whether I'm going to be able to get out to the Ivana, but we'll see what it's like in a couple of minutes. Let's have a look at the sous vide first. So, sous vide is a French term for cooking in a water bath, and it gives you really precise temperature control so that you can cook your meat exactly how you like it without overcooking it very evenly. So, you need to vacuum seal your meat into a bag, which I have done. So I have 2 pieces of eye fillet steak in here. These are our little vacuum seal bags that are available on the mix shop. And what you can see up here is a little valve. So you put your food into the vacuum seal bag. In this case, I just put a little bit of olive oil, some salt and pepper, 1 crushed up garlic clove, a couple of sprigs of thyme leaves and a rosemary sprig. And this is a Cookidoo recipe, which I'll include as well. And then what you do is you seal the top, and then you extract the air using the vacuum wand. All right. Now, the easiest way to do it when you've got a little bit of liquid in it is up against a wall like this and just suck all the air out. And there's a little line underneath here which says do not fill above this line. And what you'll start to see is the meat juice coming up. And when it gets to that line, you stop so that you don't suck all the meat juice out into your wand. And that will give you a really nice tight fit around your meat with no air left in it. And then what you can do is use your Thermomix to sous vide it. Now, if you have a TM6, you have a sous vide mode. All right. If you don't have the sous vide mode, if you're using a TM5, you'll need to use your simmering basket so that the bag doesn't get caught up with the meat as well. But I've used my blade cover peeler in there. And so you fill it up with water. And we set the sous vide mode. So 1 hour. And it was at 60 degrees No, it was a bit less than 60. It was 140 Fahrenheit, which is maybe 55, I think. And then that just sort of all submerges in the water and cooks away very gently. Now the idea is that I will take it out of the bag and go and finish it on that barbecue really, really hot. So put a bit more oil on it, a bit more salt, and just really flash fry or pan fry really hot to get a nice crispy outside, but not to heat through the center anymore because the center is perfectly medium rare at the moment. Anna, we might jump over to you. Has anyone got any questions about sous vide before we jump back to Anna? I'm going to go and see whether it's safe for me to go outside to the Ivana. Where are you, Anna?
I'm here.
I'll come to you for a second and I'll go and check whether I can go
Yeah.
out there.
All right, so here is my salad. But I haven't tossed it. I've got everything on top and the lettuce underneath. And I didn't pour the dressing over yet because I wanted you to see it on its own. Obviously, sour cream is going to be a really great add-on for this one. My family is dairy-free, so I'm not going to put it in. But you can imagine I would have blobs of sour cream over here. And then I just drizzle over the dressing like so. It is a spicy dressing. It may be a little bit too much for my children, but they're getting used to spice and it's delicious. So yeah. And there's that salad. And that is actually going to be our dinner tonight. How's it looking, Megan?
We're going to give it a go. So I'm just going to log in. Shall we jump back to you, Melissa, while I just set up my
Yeah,
other
I'll finish up the
phone?
cooking call. So all my vegetables are in the jar, ready to be covered. My pickling liquid took 3 minutes just to boil, and you want to use it hot because that's going to help it to permeate the vegetables as well. So just all in there. And now just use a spoon. Sorry, you can't see me here. Just use a spoon to press down on the vegetables and make sure they're all well submerged. And yeah, you just let it sit. So just till it cools to room temperature. It says a minimum of 2 days, but I reckon using hot liquid, you could even use it same day. And of course, as we said, with the vacuum seal as well. And just 2 other quick tips. There is salad. You can do salad, chop lettuce in your Thermomix. So you want to use, if you're doing a soft leaf, water at the same time. So put some lettuce in, bring your water up to the 1 litre mark. Speed 3 seconds, and you'll get a nice chopped lettuce. And you can also do kale. Use your spatula to help move it, but you don't need water for the kale. You can do that directly in the bowl around speed 4 seconds. So that's all from me. Thank you.
All right. I'm just going to, I'm still trying to connect myself up here. How do I spotlight on my phone? Lisa, can you see if you can spotlight me? I don't know how to do it on my phone.
Yeah, I've taken Melissa off. I'm just trying to find you. Hang on. Where are you, Megan? Okay, can you, Anna, can you see her?
Sorry, guys, because I've had to switch to my phone, I've lost some of those options. Well, hopefully if I talk, it will.
I can see you now. I can just see just you. Can everybody else just see Megan?
Hopefully. All right, so what I've done is I've got the Ivana, it's been heating up, and I've got my grill pan in there. So this is going to make sure that it's super, super hot and we can get that real char and sizzle on the edge, which is what we want. So I've just taken my steak out of the bag and just given them another little spray with olive oil. And I'm just going to Hope that you guys can see what I'm doing.
Lisa, do you know how to spotlight her? I don't think I've got the rights to do it.
I'm just trying on here.
So I've got my steak. I'm just going to pull it out of that really hot grill, stick it on. Try not to drop it. So what I've found is if your pan is really hot, like 350, 450 degrees, when you first put the steak on, it's plenty hot enough to sear the first side, and then we can flip it over in about a minute and then do the other side. And it doesn't even really need to go into the oven for longer than about a minute. And it will get that beautiful barbecue flavor, barbecue look. If you go over to the participant list, Lise, you should be able to right click on the dots next to my name and add a spotlight.
Okay, I'm having a look. Sorry. I had the participants list here a second ago. Sorry.
All right. So you can see there, I've already got beautiful char line. So I'm just going to turn that over. And so really the sous vide cooks the steak to
Stop.
perfection.
I've highlighted your other. Are you on twice, Megan?
Yeah, I'm on my phone now outside.
My voice is like it's like not what's the other one to portrait? Yeah, portrait. So you can only see a thin line down the middle if you look for a picture.
Oh, hang on. I can see the other Megan now. Just hang on.
Right.
Now,
So really, because the sous vide cooked it perfectly, all we're doing now is making it look nice. So we're giving it that little char grill. The really good thing about sous videing and cooking like this is that you can prepare that sous vide in advance and then pop it back in the fridge, still in the vacuum seal bag. And then just quickly do this final sear step in front of your guests when you're ready to eat. So it really makes barbecuing and impressing people much easier and to get those steaks perfectly. Just a little bit longer on that one. And
can everyone see Megan at the barbecue now? Just quickly, because I can. Can everybody see her? Yeah, good. Thank you.
so I'm really happy with that. Isn't that fancy? And you can
Beautiful.
be resting assured that they are cooked still to perfection on the inside. Need another hand. And that is it. Take that handle off. Turn that off. So that's our beautiful barbecue steak care of the Thermomix sous vide mode, which will really wow your guests. All right, I'm going to jump back inside now. So just give me a second.
Do you want me to put your other one on? I can put your other one on. I worked it out.
You've got it. All right, we're
the
going
great
in.
thing about sous vide is you really don't have to cook it for very long. So if you're short of time in, when your guests are there, you want to be socializing rather than cooking all day. You really do only have to sear it each side. You've done all the prep work beforehand. And yes, you can sous vide anything. You can sous vide chicken. I've done a really nice sous vide chicken recipe before. You can sous vide strawberries, like anything really. It's just essentially cooking things really slowly on a low heat in a bath.
Absolutely. It's a beautiful, beautiful way to cook your food. And you can do chicken like that. You can do salmon, all sorts of things. So definitely give it a go because those steaks are restaurant quality right now.
And a really great one is sous vide eggs, because if you sous vide eggs, you don't even need to vacuum seal them. You just sous vide them in their shell. And they're the perfect poached eggs when you crack them open for some nice homemade baked beans.
There you go. All right. Has anyone got any questions for us? Who's feeling a little bit excited to get out and barbecue when the weather warms up a bit? Hopefully it doesn't storm on you like it just did here. Can we show you the inside of the steak? Yes, I can. Oops. Can you see that? How's that?
So good.
Who would be happy with that? Yum. Amazing. Yeah, it's a really, really, really great way to up your barbecue game. Yeah, so hopefully you'll give some of those a try, guys. We will get an email out to you with all of those recipes. You know, we would love you to come along and join our team. Have you thought about becoming a consultant? You could be on here having fun with us. You could be earning all of these fantastic things that we've shown you tonight as incentives and having lots of fun. The best way to learn more about cooking with your Thermomix is to become a consultant. So have a think about it. Reach out to your consultant if you'd like more information, or to myself when I send you an email. I would love to give you the details. I'll also include all the info about our upcoming cooking classes. We'd love to see you in person. Although these classes are lots of fun, our in-person classes are even better because you do actually get to taste all of this food. It's a little bit less of a tease. Oh, yes, our chicken wings. Where are you, Kirsty?
I just pulled them out of the oven. Look at them. And some
Hang
lane.
on. I've got to find you.
I've still got another batch in the oven. There's still a couple over in the bowl. So I did 2 kilos. Still plenty of sauce left. When it cools down, I'm going to put it into the barbecue sauce bottle and see if they even notice. They won't.
Megan, can you spotlight us all so we can get a little group photo?
Absolutely.
All our stuff together at once.
Yay.
They look good, Kirsty.
I'm dying to eat one, but they're too hot.
I think now you've just spotlighted me only.
I think that might have been Lisa. What are you doing, Lisa? Now we've given her control. She's all over the place. If we just add spotlights, then we can all be up here. Add a spotlight, and then we just need Melissa as well.
I don't know if I need a margarita on a Wednesday afternoon.
You always need a margarita. I'm so jealous that I can't have a margarita with you right now. All right, so we've got a beautiful salad, our margarita, our perfectly cooked steak, our Pete's barbecue chicken wings, our beautiful burger buns, our rubs, our quick pickles. Woo, we're ready to barbecue. Amazing.
Thanks.
One last thing I want to share, guys, is that we have a festive host reward catalogue for you over the next few weeks. So contact your consultant and have a chat about hosting a demo. We've got some great new items for you to get your hands on as a host reward. So just you and 2 friends gets you the choice of a rose gold bakeware set with all of our most beautiful rose gold pieces. We've also got the grazing boxes, which make beautiful gifts and take, you know, things to take to Christmas parties and things like that. I think I've actually got one hiding here somewhere that I can show you quickly, just so you all know.
Beer.
This one. You see that?
It's
So we've got our
small.
beautiful rose gold bakeware set has been added in for festive season. The
It's
grazing
tiny.
box. It's tiny?
Yeah, you can see the Santa Maria dry rub.
Oh, that shouldn't
You
be
need
there.
to go onto the other page.
Click on the tab.
Well, that's where I thought I was. I can see the tab.
You might have to go stop screen sharing and then open it up from that one to start with.
Ugh.
Why do things have to be so hard? Is that better?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. That's
Yep,
it.
can see
Okay.
now.
Awesome. So we've added this beautiful rose gold bakeware set with 6 of our most popular pieces of rose gold bakeware. So that can be all yours if you host a demo and have 2 guests come along. It's worth $174. You can get it for $70 just for hosting, or if one of your guests purchases the TM6, you will get that for free. We've also got the grazing box set and the festive flavor cookbook, which is a beautiful Christmas gift. We've got our black glider boards still on there. Our cutter's still on there. So if you haven't got the cutter yet and you'd like to get your hands on the cutter, this is a great way to do it. Why pay $220 when you don't have to? And we've also added in the mini kobolds. So if you'd like a quick way to clean up spills and things around your kitchen, as well as everywhere else in the house and car, this little mini kobold vac is a fantastic tool to have around as well. Yeah, so have a chat with your consultant. Let us know if that's something that you would be interested in doing. Demos can be quick. They can be one dish. They can be a cocktail and a dip. They can be, you know, a dinner and something else. It is what you would like it to be. So have a chat with your consultant, and we look forward to seeing you at our next class. Thanks for joining us. And if you've got any questions, please do let us know. Feel free to jump off or put it in the chat.
You still recording?
Yes, but I will